Glad you made it back, everybody. Earlier this week, hundreds of socialist Democrats crashed a small pro-life prayer vigil organized by Young Conservatives of Texas chapter at the University of North Texas. As the Christians prayed, "Christ is King," Antifa thugs chanted, "F your God." Joining me now is host of the Eric Metaxas Show and Socrates in the City and author of Is Atheism Dead?, Eric Metaxas, and from the Archdiocese of New York, Father Gerald Murray. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Thank you for being here. As you know, our constitutional freedoms and liberties are predicated on Judeo-Christian ethic. It's also on the basis of our laws. Isn't this why we see Democrat socialists supporting criminals and why their violent militants are attacking God, Eric?
You've said it exactly. In my book is called Is Atheism Dead? And in the book, on the cover of the book, I have a picture of a snake swallowing its own tail, which is a sort of an occultic symbol. But the reason I have a snake swallowing its own tail, not only is atheism self-refuting, it sort of eats itself, but also it's not neutral. There's an element of malevolence, usually. There can be some good atheists, but generally speaking, atheist states, for example, have treated human beings, especially people of faith, so cruelly, so sadistically. You have to wonder if they actually don't not believe in God, but hate God. It is something that in our society, we haven't seen this boldly. But when you see things like this, you realize that Antifa and many people on the radical left, they're Marxists, and Marxists are atheists. There's no way around it. And I have to say that hearing about this is not surprising, but it's clarifying. They don't want God to be real. They have a dog in the fight. They pretend that they just believe this is not true, but they really don't seem to want to believe it's true. They have an animus against God and against people of faith.
Yeah, because it's the foundation of Western society. And case in point, Los Angeles Mayor Eric Garcetti, he's a leftist. He announced that the statue of missionary and Catholic Saint Junipero Serra will be removed from a downtown park, which was originally named after the saint. Serra is known for establishing the first missions in California, as you probably know. But the left is trying to attack him, claiming he oppressed indigenous people with his beliefs in Jesus Christ. Now, history shows that he did no such thing. He didn't oppress anybody. The Catholic Church, though, has been largely silent on all of this. Now, if the Church won't stand for itself, how can they expect others to stand for the Church?
Look, I can't, because I'm not officially Catholic, I can say what I like about the Catholic Church. This Pope has Marxist sympathies. Most of my faithful Catholic friends are disgusted by him and by most of the American bishops who are leaning left. And many people are talking, friends of mine, about leaving the Catholic Church because of the leftward lurch of the Catholic Church. It's horrifying. They've been silent on issues that in the past they would have been very loud about. It's a very dismaying thing. These are issues concerning human beings and truth. And if the church is not at the forefront of that, any church, they should be ashamed of themselves. And I'm not sure why this is, but I think that this Pope has strange Marxist sympathies. I'm very sorry to say that for my Catholic friends particularly.
Yeah, well, in interest of full disclosure, I am a practicing Catholic, and yes, this Pope elevates those who believe in the slaughter of children, like he met with Nancy Pelosi and he's going to meet with Joe Biden. It's an absolute disgrace. Now, I want to talk to you about your book titled Is Atheism Dead? It tears down arguments for this godless universe the left wants to impose on all of us. Tell us what inspired your work.
Well, it's funny. In 1966, many people know there was a famous Time magazine cover story asking, "Is God dead?" And that was kind of the high watermark of secularism. A lot of people, even in seminaries, were saying, are we living in a world without God? They were asking these questions as though science were pushing God out of the picture. Well, since 1966, the evidence from science, ironically, has been piling up and up and up, and most people don't know anything about it. This is what I find funny, because we're talking science. This is not Christian philosophy, Christian point of view. This is pure science. The fine-tuned universe, Christopher Hitchens, the arch-atheist, said that was the most devastating argument from the other side. He conceded that. And in my book, I go into the fine-tuned argument that the universe is so exquisitely designed. I mean, it's beyond our comprehension. And it's only modern science that enables us to see how exquisitely designed it is. How if the tiniest thing were off this much or in the other direction this much, life would not exist. And this goes on over and over and over again. This is not just a handful of details.
Sounds
the size of our planet, the size of the
it sounds like a fascinating discussion.
Science.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? I'm reminded of a story I read quite a few years back, that as they look at the science of the book of Genesis, it must have happened just that way scientifically. Sorry we couldn't make a connection with Father Gerald Murray, but we did talk to Eric Metaxas. Sir, thank you very much. Appreciate the time.